Good morning and happy 1010 portal. I am higher vibrations and so are you. And once again, we have our this I actually met Dr. Dwaine, I don't know, a couple of years ago. And it's always a joy having him come on. And when I saw the 1010 portal was open, I thought immediately of him. Somehow tens and Dr. Dwaine could connect in my head. And so the Trance Alchemist, is that how you
Yeah,
call yourself?
well, that's what that's the nickname. Yeah, the Trance Alchemist, because I work with people to use trance to alchemize an alchemical process for themselves to shift into different states of being.
Right.
Yeah,
Oh, and
and
how
in
would
those
you do that?
hmm?
Sorry, I interrupted you. Excuse me. How would you do that? Okay, what's
What were you
going
saying?
on? Technology's acting weird. Hold on a second. No, okay, someone's on. Okay, someone found us. I saw that there's something going on with it's according to my YouTube, we're not actually on yet. And we don't even have a background thing.
Oh,
It looks like that. Oh, you can't see. So can you guys see? Okay, there's people joining from your channel, I think is what it is. So at least people are finding us. Welcome
okay.
everybody. Um, yeah. Oh,
Well,
my YouTube's not linked to it. How is that? What? Weird.
wow.
Hmm.
Is it because mine's linked? Because
No,
it
it
asked
should.
me before I start, do I want to link my stuff? And I said
Yeah,
yes.
no, that's okay that you did that. That should have been fine. It's just hold on, I'm trying to figure it out. There are people in the audience waiting. Let's see. Let me see if I compare from this. If I go away, stick around, I'll be a second.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't have. Okay, here we go. Okay, add channels. YouTube. Sorry, thank you for bearing with everybody. Like, just making. I don't. Technology is so weird. For a while now, I keep saying it's definitely still. I don't care what they say. All right, hold on. It's taking a second. Is it interesting? You want to go ahead and share what you were about? I cut you off to do this. What a
I don't
trance
remember.
alchemist
I
is
don't
and
have that.
how that
Oh
works.
yeah. Well, I mean, trans alchemy. I've got that nickname, the Trance Alchemist, because I help people shift state and create a different reality. It's like, moving to a different house, right? You help them shift state, and then boom, they have a different reality,
Right.
right? So they call me Trance Alchemist. So. But I'm a certified clinical hypnotherapist,
That's
and I have spent. Hmm? Yes.
keep going. I'm just.
And I spent
I must be being delayed.
26 years now. Yeah, you are, because I just start talking and then you start talking.
Good.
Yeah, it's really delayed.
Okay, you can go ahead.
Okay. So anyway, certified clinical hypnotherapist. I've been that for 26 years. I've worked with everything you can imagine, from sports to the highest spiritual connection, ascension, anything like that. So anxiety, fears, but lately I've really been moving into a new area for me, and it's good for everyone. Is this shifting states within themselves and creating a different reality, completely different reality, right in the matrix, right? So
Mm-hmm.
boom, all of a sudden you're living a different world than your neighbor is, and there's nothing in common.
Yeah.
magical. Yeah.
We are. And it is shifting. It's as if you stepped out a door and found that you've been living in a different world. And that's that kind of, am I a little bit more online? Like, am I still delayed a lot now that everything, we're good now?
You're more, yeah. Yes.
Okay. I want to do a quick, another introduction because for some people, we just started. So, good morning. I am Higher Vibrations, and so are you. And if you were waiting for some reason, my YouTube unlinked itself from Raystream. And so I just had to go and link it back up again. Having some technical difficulties is kind of like the theme of the time right now. So, for those of you who didn't catch this, our guest today is Dr. Dwaine, the hypnotherapist, trance alchemist. He was explaining trance alchemy and the process of becoming aware that as you shift your own frequency and raise your vibration, that those who vibrate at a lower frequency are no longer in your world. They just those things no longer exist that cause conflict in that lower state of consciousness. And that's what you do as a profession. You're a clinical hypnotherapist. That's always a hard word to say.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm a clinical hypnotherapist, and but in my study and 26 years of experience, early on I found out that hypnotherapy was really all about manifestation,
Mm-hmm.
and that we were working in the area of helping people manifest differently. See, all hypnosis is self-hypnosis.
Yeah.
And we're either hypnotizing ourselves to limitation or we're hypnotizing ourselves to grander things, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so early on in my career, I discovered that this is all to do with manifestation and people manifesting their own reality. And I used to see, like I would say, I'd see many clients, and each one of them had a different reality, but yet they would all say that there's only one reality, which is a lie. It's all separate. We're all separately having our own realities. We may
It's all
use, yeah, we may use language, and all language is hypnotic in nature. We may use language and draw people in to a collective, and they're all sharing basically the same ideas, but yet the truth be known, each one of them has their own separate reality.
yeah.
So the cool part of that is to be able to help people by eliciting what their reality is and how to shift that, right? For
Right.
them. Yeah.
In other
So
words, we sometimes call that removal of soul contracts.
yeah, you can. Um, and it's not at the same time. It's what that individual is, right?
Mm-hmm.
That individual person uh, has their own little rubrics that they grew up with, little memories
Yeah.
and things, grandma's house, and then, maybe grandpa being an alcoholic or something. And this all builds inside of a person to come to a crescendo. But you can go back and rewrite that, and the present moment changes completely. And you
Right.
have every right to rewrite it. It's only a memory. And
How do you
so,
rewrite it?
pardon?
How do you rewrite that?
Yeah, come and see me. Yeah.
And right.
Yeah. Um, you can simply go back and change it, have a different memory of it. Go ahead and implant a different memory yourself,
Yeah.
and then it's different. You can do that.
I know
Yeah, it's
exactly what
called
you're
rewriting.
talking about. I'm just leading you. Sorry. I keep cutting you off. Do you have a delay still, I think? I'm sorry. Go on.
It's called rewriting. It's a rewriting rewriting the past, eh?
Yeah.
So, what if you could rewrite your whole past if you didn't have a good one? You have every right to.
Yeah.
I mean, again, there's a bubble around you, and you're in it, and that's it. There's nothing ahead, nothing behind. You're just going through this experience of I am. And the crescendo, the big ending, is the fact when you realize who you are,
Yeah.
right? That you're God, full stop. You always have been, you always will be. You're creating everything, every limitation, everything. And when you stop and just come back into I am, and move forward, you create what you desire in life.
Yeah.
And if you say, yeah, but they're doing this over there, well, you just lost the plot. Now they're doing that over there. And you're going
Right.
to spend a few days swirling around in that. But come back to your I am the only I'm the optimum power in my life, and I create everything. You when you really get that, you start getting a feeling of expansion happening in your chest. I mean, real feeling of expansion and freedom.
Yeah.
That's the place you want to be in. That's an ultimate state, right? Of being. And then you're whatever you basically say I am to, you
Mm-hmm.
are,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because it is a vibrational feeling inside of you, whatever it is you desire. You desire this over here, become it as
Right.
if you already have it. And then things shift quickly.
I've been doing these things you're talking about. It's fun hearing different words to describe these things because I've made up my own words. It's
Mhm.
it's something I've happened across through to work with my guides and stuff. And I don't, so we use our own words. But um I know exactly what you're talking about. Like, I've actually been undoing or redoing the past 20 years, the past few
Yeah.
weeks, and specifically the past 20 years. And though when I was first thought that there was something wrong, my family were concerned for me because I was talking to the Pleiadians when I was 13. They were teaching me how to uh, what turned out to be what people call quantum healing.
Yeah.
And I was, right? And I was going back to each of these different moments and changing the story. I
Hmm.
was seeing it from a different perspective in some cases where the story didn't need to change, only my understanding of the story, you know?
Yeah.
And then using the I am statements uh, has been something that I remember stumbling across that when I think I was 20 or 21. And I was meant to call in ill in order to not have to go to work because I wasn't feeling that great.
Hmm.
And I noticed that when I said I am and then added an illness to it, um,
Yeah.
that every time I did that, all of a sudden I would spiral out. And I always, for a long time, thought, well, that's probably because now my body knows that it can rest. It's given the chance. I was wrong. I was I used the I am statement against myself, and sure enough, what little teeny symptoms I was having expanded, and I became,
Exactly.
almost bedridden. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. That happens. Well, a lot of people are saying I am in the wrong way. You were
exactly.
influenced to do that. You were influenced to be disempowered. You went through the school system and, parents hypnotizing you to the idea of limitation
Right.
all the way down the line. And so when you actually make it a positive, affirmative I am statement, it at first feels like a little bit of a lie, but keep practicing it because what's happening is as you're saying I am, you're getting a flash picture of yourself in that state.
Hmm.
And the more that you're flashing that and you're changing your internal dialogue,
Yep.
all of a sudden your emotion will shift. right?
Yeah.
And what I call crossing the rainbow bridge is you cross this bridge where there's going to be all kinds of things come at you, but you stay with your I am statement. I am free. I am I am the light of source energy shining through me. I am whatever you want to put there. And you continue with that I am statement, then these things stop. Basically, it's yourself attacking yourself.
Hmm.
And this will fade and you continue on. And any time that they pop up, you don't fight them, you don't argue with them, because the quickest way to get yourself back in the trap is to fight it,
Yeah.
right? Because you're proving it's powerful.
Right.
Uh, if you walk past the bully who's nagging at you and just ignore him, right,
Yeah.
and just keep going on your way, I mean, he gets left behind, right?
Yeah.
Same thing in your own self.
Yeah.
As you continue walking, I am, and don't let it bother you, and just keep going steadfastly. You'll make it across the bridge, and then there's a nice surprise because
Yeah.
you start to feel that expansion that you're actually free. You never were trapped, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 100%. And the emotion that gets brought up when we use these I am statements is the fuel of all manifestation, in my opinion. Like
Yeah,
when you do
it.
that, if you can experience what it feels like to receive or whatever it is that you're looking for in your manifestation desires, then that brings it. It's the emotion, it's the
Yeah,
how
it's
it
that,
feels, right?
right? Because when you already have it inside of your being, in your state of being, you already have it. Then it's on its way. It was explained to me like this: the desire is like an email, and you get the notification, ding, your email's here.
Yeah.
In order to open it, you change your vibration to match it, and then you can open the email,
Right.
right? But you are the one that needs to shift vibration, and as soon as you get that right,
Right.
I mean,
Exactly.
there was years that I sat there, kind of thing, went through life, and thought if I didn't have any emotional reaction to the negativity, that that I would be fine. But the thing was, I wasn't fine, right?
Hmm.
Because I wasn't projecting anything new. I was just sitting there in this state of, they say that you have to, you manifest and you wait. Well, that can get a little tricky because some
Yeah.
people, like myself at that time, I was in this kind of a zombie-like state where I was just waiting for the manifestations to come. You
Right.
do have to be in the vibration of already receiving. There's a there's a different thing there. Yeah.
And this is the hang up I'm noticing with a lot of the people that I do sessions with is the hang up that they're having is mostly revolving around the low self-worth, not thinking they're worthy of receiving the thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And isn't that? Yeah. So what would you do for something like, I mean, this is just fun to talk about this if you want to go into it further.
Well, when I get clients like that, I just work with them until I ask them what is it that they want, and then I elicit from them the feelings, the excitement that they would be in if they were in that state, and
Yeah.
then in eliciting that, they've already left the state. They don't even realize it, but they've left the state. Now they're in this new state, and then I hypnotically anchor that to them, so that they can just do an anchor on themselves and go back into that state anytime they want to.
Yeah.
And then there are times when I work with either the what people would call the unconscious mind. I don't call it that, but the unconscious mind, and I work with the magical inner child. And I get either one of those to actually remind the adult self through in a feeling that that they're in they're in a new state, right?
Yeah.
So great one to work with that is the magical inner child. And that magical inner dark child, she just comes up. In your case, she just comes up, puts her little hand on your heart, and boom, magic happens.
Yeah.
It's interesting. I just found out not too long ago that that was actually written in the Bible. This inner child work, the real one I'm talking about,
Yeah. Do tell.
where you wake up that the child within.
Yeah.
The child is the one that commands the universe, and the sun is the experience when it happens. That feeling of expansion, that's the
Yeah.
sun. And it's written that this is the way to work with yourself. No, the only way that you can enter the kingdom of heaven is through the child.
Oh yeah.
So, I mean, there's a I do a totally different style of inner child work, right?
Yeah.
And empower that child, because look at it. The child came in fresh from source energy
Yeah.
and then was hypnotized and convinced to be less than. So
Mhm.
when we go back in and meet with the child on these terms, it still remembers its original. And it can clear things up real quick.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Like, I mean, real quick, the video is working on YouTube now. Thank you so much, Lacey. It was not linked for some reason, but it's relinked now. Um, I this is really fascinating because this inner child stuff is really all that's coming up with everything when it comes to doing sessions with people, what we do, these group meditations that are channeled. And so when
Yeah.
they're channeled, I'm not really driving, and so, but it's really fun because they'll guide us down into the sacral, and I'm finding I hear a whole bunch of voices, a whole bunch of little kids. And I asked, and they said that, well, first of all, we store our inner child in our sacral chakra. And that makes a lot of sense that it's so close to manifestation, because that manifestation place is there in the womb, right? The creation space. Whether you're a man or a woman, you got a womb. But on top of that, um, I'm finding that with some individuals, they have previous incarnations where their inner child or their childlike self was fractured off of them and not reintegrated. So you're finding sometimes a little village of children of multiple incarnations, like still hanging out in this sacral chakra space.
Hmm.
Just interesting side note, to something to comment on, and
Yeah.
how it's connected to manifestation. That this is exactly down to this line. And so, before I forget to ask, I actually forgot to go and grab it someplace. I have your what people are going to ask how to contact you, and it's in the description of this video. I can tell you that. I just don't know where to find it to put it up for you guys on the screen. So, but you offer sessions, and I'll bring this up again later on. But and so if anyone is interested in having sessions with you, do you have like a orient or like a you meet the person first kind of thing, or they make it? How does the session thing work
Yeah,
out for you?
they can book a free chat with me to see if this lines up with them.
That's what I'm.
Um, and then we go from there. But I have a single session. I have a 4 session package and an 8 session package. The higher you go, the more you save on each session.
Right.
But the most common one is people get the 4 session package. With 1 session, you can do things, but you can't complete things. You know what I mean? 4 sessions, you can. 8 sessions, yes. And right now, what I'm doing is I'm working with Gridiron Gym here in Dawson Creek, where I'm living right now, Dawson Creek. And Gridiron Gym has one of them frequency rooms, EE room, energy, it's scalar wave energy.
Yeah.
And so I see 3 people at a time in the energy room,
Oh,
and
cool.
they're in the scalar waves. We're in there for 2 hours, and I work with them with my techniques and different things that I have learned along the way. So it makes it quite interesting because you never know quite who you're going to get, and each one could be different. And I have to work with all 3, right? And
Yeah.
give them and that's a nice way to have if you're in the area, if you're in Dawson Creek, or if you're uh, in surrounding areas, if you want to come in and do the
Is that
frequency.
California?
No, it's British Columbia.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's right. You told me that. I just remember. I just know what your time zone is. That's all that I really need to keep track of. So if you're in the British Columbia
Yeah.
area and near Dawson Creek.
Yeah, that's right. And even Alberta side, people from the Alberta side are coming in to come experience this. The frequencies themselves do a lot of healing work, right? You just in those energies, and it's amazing. And
Yeah.
then guided along with my help, guided along with, it's really happening quick,
Yeah.
quick.
Wow,
Yeah,
that sounds like if I was nearby, I would be there. That sounds like an amazing experience.
it
Wow.
is. It is. It really is. The scalar waves in the room are phenomenal, but those scalar waves go out about 2 blocks, maybe more,
Yeah.
from
Yeah.
the building.
And
So
up and down too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So people are experiencing things healing on themselves that they, you know, had a tough time healing before, and it's just happening.
And
And
those
then
who are neighbors around the area are just getting the benefit of being nearby, and all of a sudden they're just doing better.
that's right. Yeah. So frequency, vibration is really, really effective. Now imagine, because frequency, vibration, that's also can be done with emotion
Yeah.
in your body, because your emotion, you shift states into a different state. That's a different feeling. That's a different frequency. That's a different vibration. And that creates a different reality. It's
Right.
all in the same ballpark, right?
Yeah.
And everyone is free. No one is trapped with anything. All you have to do is step into your own feeling of freedom, and you can start transmuting your life. So it doesn't give us much to talk about anymore, because
Right.
this is the time, though. This is the time that I knew about ever since I started this journey over 60 years ago when I was born on this planet. Is the point that we're coming to this great awakening, and we're not coming to it anymore. We're in the middle of it. And so when people wake up to who they are, you'll never be controlled again,
Yeah.
as a person, as a society.
And when your heart is free, there are no bounds. You can do
No
whatever.
bounds. And it's
Yeah.
tough for some people to hear, but you're eternal. You have never been born, nor will you ever die, when you live from the spirit that you are.
Yeah.
And then you have dominion over the body.
Yeah.
The other way around doesn't work so well, we found out. But
Yeah.
it's all inside. There's nothing outside of you. It's all inside. You're projecting everything.
Yeah. And
And
that's why
so,
this is a seed.
what's that?
Sorry. That's why this is a seed shape. Is
Mhm.
all things are born from seed. This is the projector. These
Mhm.
eyes. They're
Mhm.
every it's right in front of us. It's plain as day if we
Yeah.
look around and see it.
Yeah. It's right. And it's
Right.
all, like you say, yeah, it's all a projection.
Yeah.
And we're getting closer and closer and closer to this conscious awareness of this. That and what helps is all of the nonsense that's going on the outside with everything that's going on. They're really frantically trying to keep hold of these beings called humans.
It's a Hail
And
Mary, you're right.
all it's doing is sending people right into crazy land and saying, fuck it all. I'm coming back to me. And that was the point.
Yeah.
That's the point of all of this nonsense going on. Come back to yourself, realize you're the ultimate power, and that you can change anything in your life. And that's not a story, that's a truth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once you accept that as true, see, that's the part. It takes a little bit. And so those who start to work on this, I find, become like, I don't know, they stop believing it's going to work. And so they don't continue, because it takes some time to unindoctrinate yourself. It takes some time to, remove the script, like you were saying, that you were fed at an earlier age. Whoa, he just left. He'll be back. Carmen, good to see you. I've been wondering about you for some time. Welcome back. And welcome to America, I see. That's awesome. I love this topic that we're discussing regarding manifestation and stuff, because to me, in a lot of different ways, the 1010 window, the 1010 portal, is very much about manifestation. It's very much about coming into your power and choosing what reality you want to be in. Welcome back. I knew you'd be able to come back. It's weird technology. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah. It doesn't want us to be saying this.
Probably. But I can't stop it. We're not the only ones talking these words, speaking these words, talking these words. I was going to use a quote of a joke, but I just changed it. Anyway, yeah. And once we're fully empowered, then what? Once we've allowed ourselves to accept that we are powerful and begin to learn how to weave the world or about us, that's when those who had, it's just a little teeny, it's like less than 1% have been in domination of the remainder, for how long? And it's been about fear. It's been about believing in the cycles. The first thing you learn in social work, they tell you about the cycles of abuse, the cycles of poverty, the cycle of this and the cycle of that. And they're trying to show you that for the rest of your life, you're going to be stuck in this cycle because of what you inherited. And the reality that you see is the reality you'll always be in, when that's not true at all. Sorry.
That's absolute bullshit.
Mm-hmm.
We know it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's time for folks to step into their own ability to change their vibration. That's all that has to happen. It's not difficult.
Yeah.
Change your vibration, start to play with it like a little child, and start playing in that shifting vibration.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Getting excited that something is coming that's really good for you. Get excited about it. And watch what will happen.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
We have a tiny bit of a delay since he returned, but if I cut you off, just keep going. I'll stop once I realize I've cut you off. The going to sleep, and when you're on your way to bed to sleep, remembering that you're excited about something. You don't have to know what it is. It doesn't have to. I don't put anything to it. In fact, if I can, which I usually do, I won't add any details to what I'm excited about. Like at this point, See, because at first, when you start to play with manifestation, I find that you're like writing a list to Santa at first. It's like, this is my order. I want it to be specifically this way. And we learn not only does that create limitation and less ways the universe can answer you back, like at the same time, we don't as people often know exactly what it is that will bring us that result that we're looking for. So instead of saying I want to be a millionaire, to not have to worry about, you know, poverty or lack of abundance, instead, let's talk about abundance, that kind of thing. But so what I do is before I go to sleep, I make myself into that excited energy. Oh, tomorrow's going to be a good day. Ooh, it could be. I have a whole list of things that I don't want to do tomorrow, but like, that's not what I'm thinking. I'm excited about tomorrow. And then when I remember I'm excited and I don't even remember why. And I just go about my day. And you know what? Everything always not only just works out, it's phenomenal every day that I get to be in. Like, that little bit right there is powerful.
Yep.
So
the greatest thing is to manifest the state of being that you want to be in. So that's where you start, right? You want to start with manifesting that state of being that you want to be in. And then you can move it to other things, right? And I'm not taking away from the fact that if you go into the state of winning $80 million, it's going to happen. It's going to, and we have to stop being scared of that, because for some reason we think we're under judgment or whatever. No, go ahead and do it. It's your reality. Now, I'm not saying that you're going to be in the same reality that your old friends were. You're a bubble. You might float out, and here you are with your whatever it is and amount of money.
Yeah.
Or health. Boom. Right? And sometimes we pop out as little bubbles of our own reality. We pop out and away from family and friends and everything else that knew us the other way, because it's a contradiction. It won't happen. And you float out over here. Are you okay with that? How do you know when you go to sleep at night that you don't die and wake up in a different reality? You don't.
Oh, we do. Sometimes, very often, actually.
How do you know that near miss over there that happened to you, that you didn't die there? Right. You don't. There's an ongoingness to us.
Yeah.
That we haven't discovered yet. That's just part of being eternal. Yeah. That we won't admit that we are, but you are. So in that, there's anything you desire you can bring in. But it starts with manifesting, first of all, the state that you want to be in, a magical state, a joyful state. And you start getting your sea legs with this, and you start feeling the expansion. And then you take on different tasks, right? But a lot of people will take on what you talked about, the big task, $80 million, and it doesn't happen. Well, it doesn't work. Well, no, you didn't build yourself up to it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like, you're not going to swim the channel, the English Channel, and the day after you learn to swim.
Yeah.
You have to build your muscle up and get your endurance and so on.
Now, there's another thing going on here, and that's being accepted by society and being accepted by your friends and your family and all of that in this as well. And a lot of people, like it was Marianne Williamson, wrote something one time, but the one part that's really sticks out to me in this description is that you're never, you're not afraid of the darkness, you're afraid of the light. Because if you were the light, then what would other people say about you? So people often live in the darkness because they don't want to stand out. But if you don't stand out, then how do people know how to stand out? They don't. So that's the trap in this, is that you got to be able to stand out and be free with standing out. That
Right.
you are the shining example of source energy, God source energy coming through you.
Yeah.
And if you say, "Oh, but I'm not worthy of that," well, you got to really do some work, right? Because
Yeah.
otherwise, you need to be able to connect with that fact that you're not different than source itself, God itself. You are it.
Right. And not even like sometimes the easiest way to really let yourself wrap your head around that is uh, the idea that we're appendages of God. And that doesn't mean that we're taking away from what you said, but it does help at first because of the same idea that you're learning to crawl before you walk, before you run, and however, an appendage of God, like, is this not me?
Mm-hmm.
This is me,
Mm-hmm.
and it helps to kind of become a little bit more, to take some time to kind of move into that awareness. I wanted to add something more.
And
Say, I did look up
and
how
I'm
to
going
say
to just say quickly, uh, I won't say yes to that because it is owning who you are. Um, you have to own who you are because this is the whole point. If we still put ourselves out there and say we're just an appendage, then you're not owning it.
Mhm.
And I just want people to know that
Oh yeah,
they have
yeah,
to they have to take a look at and realize that you're that expression of God
mm,
itself manifesting this and that. And you realize you never left creation
yeah.
in itself. You're still it.
And you're still creating
Yeah.
every moment that we're in. In fact, I love that kind of concept of trying to consider that the room I'm going to walk into doesn't exist until I open the door. That's so much fun to like kind of try to. I wanted to add something before I forget though. This goes back to the light comment that you made earlier. I became aware of this. Uh, there's a Saint Francis of Assisi. I don't
Yeah.
know if that's the
Yeah.
right way to say it. And there's this prayer that he's famous for. He's a Italian mystic and poet is how they. I just had to make sure I said his last of where he came from. Um, anyway, I don't remember what it's called off the top of my head, but I remember it says stuff like, where there is shadow, allow me to be the light, or let me
Mm.
be the light where there is shadow, where there is discord, let me bring harmony, and that prayer is was I mean honestly that's a foundational shifting of my reality period in my life when I came across that. And it's really interesting that you talk about how people will fade away who don't vibrate in the same frequency that you're vibrating in, or your reality bubble moves and there's don't come along or whatever.
Right.
And that's a lot of it was around that window of time that I really started to take this to heart. Like you said, we don't always want to say those things out loud. There's also that cringe aspect
Mm-hmm.
where we've been taught growing up, indoctrinated, whatever reason, that that there is one chosen one, and that's not you.
Yeah.
And that we're not powerful and all that crap. We are powerful, and there are chosen ones, and it's actually worded as the elect, and the elect is known as a plural word.
Mm-hmm.
And that those the references in the Bible that talks about the chosen one, it's chosen ones. And it's the book of Matthew 24, by the way, if you're interested. You can find here it talks about the speeding up of time that we're experiencing right now,
Mm-hmm.
and that it's in order to spare us, because this would be a lot if time drug on as slowly as it had before. Anyhow, just becoming aware that it's okay to say that I'm awesome enough that I could be the light for somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
That's hard for a lot of people at first. It was hard for me. It was one of those things you say at night when the kids are asleep and the doors are closed and you have, a blanket over your head, and still cringe inside. But keep doing it. Keep doing it. Keep saying those things, and when we do, when we allow ourselves to, then we can stand in this powerful space of knowing that you are a powerful person and that you are worthy. And that was the unlocking part for me. After that, this other stuff that we're talking about, that is the ultimate goal, became attainable because those blockages were cleared. It's kind of like moving the dam.
Mm-hmm.
The beaver had been playing around too much and you wanted to move the dam out so the water can flow.
Yeah. It's like my original teacher told us one time. She said, the downfall of humanity is compromise. Do not compromise. Ever.
Yeah.
You're God. That's it. Don't compromise. For anyone.
That's actually why I'm single. I don't want to negotiate my life and compromise it anymore. I'm done.
Yeah.
Like, I'm happy. Babe, I'm one of the few people. I know a lot of people like to be with partnered up, and you have fun. I'm glad for you, and I'm glad for me too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fun. And it's so powerful. Who was it that said that? Will you tell me again?
Ramtha. Jay-Z Knight. She channeled Ramtha, and it was Ramtha that said that. In my early days, I couldn't read very well or anything, and the first book that I ever read cover to cover was Ramtha's White Book, and the only reason was because it held my interest. It was all about the fact that you're God. Right?
That's awesome.
Back then, when I was in my 20s or younger, I don't know. Yeah, and believe it or not, it was when I gave it to my father. It was the first book he ever read cover to cover too.
Wow, cool.
Because he couldn't read that well. And we both did the same thing when we finished the book. We kissed the back of the book and said, so be it. And if anybody's read that book, they'll see why. It's a powerful book. Ramtha was and still is, a powerful teacher. But it's a woman that channels 35,000-year-old male entity who went from being a barbarian to ascending at the end of his life.
Wow.
He learned it all real quick. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was a really cool thing to be involved in my younger days, and really set the precedent for me and made things very clear that we are free and it is us creating the reality, right?
Yeah. Vanessa was saying that she read the book in her 20s too. Her mom gave it to her.
Oh, nice. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you said it's called The White Book, I think.
It's Ramtha's White Book. Yeah.
Okay. Just for anyone who wants to find that. I'm really impressed with how many different resources there were out there when I thought there weren't anything available yet except for oral tradition style. Which I guess if she's channeling, it's probably mostly oral tradition that she was sharing this information before creating a couple of books, perhaps.
Well, more so, it was her own experience, or Ramtha's own experiences.
Yeah.
As just to let you know, when I first started listening and reading Ramtha, you couldn't get Ramtha on the shelf. It was underground. In Canada, they wouldn't let you put it on the shelf. Yep. And so we had to do it all underground at first, and then finally they loosened up and let it be on the shelf. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually remember hearing about this. There were these underground, not only bookstores, like that's where the whole mobile book concept came from. And because I remember that, like when I was, so I was born in 79, and
Mhm.
we were super, super, no one knew we existed, for the first several, at least the first decade of my life. Um, anyhow, but so you knew about some of the things, but we didn't, talk to the neighbors or go to
Yeah.
school or anything.
Don't know. There
However,
was
what
there
was
was a
that?
big there was a big fear about that. Yeah. Talking to the neighbors or, you know, about what you knew. Right.
Oh yeah. But I remember there was these newsletters.
Hmm.
That was what my dad kind of started to consider other things. At the point of my birth, he was like a member of the LDS Church and some type of in the bishopric and this whole thing, and near around the time I was 8 years old, he had been changing his mind, and kind of started, and so he would end up with these newsletters that were like underground newsletter. It said it I remember that it said underground newsletter on
Ah,
the subtitle.
yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and then in there you could how to find these resources and stuff. That's really fun. You just opened up a memory of mine I forgot all about. Um, and these resources are still applicable today. These teachings are teachings that were able to awaken people in some of the most densest times, and
Yes.
so they were available and useful. Like, I'm going to read this if you don't mind. Vanessa Rice says, I asked after reading this book that you're talking about, I asked if this is true, send me a sign. A star dropped down in front, or it dropped down, it turned into a giant light in front of me and gave me more love than I've ever known. Wow, what a powerful experience.
Vanessa, my father was outside working with the cattle, and he said in his mind, Ramtha, he says, I'd like to see you. Just simply. A 7 foot tall entity walked through the yard and disappeared into nothing. And then my dad came in to tell my mother about it, and she laughed at him and said, You're crazy. She was washing dishes, looking out the front window, and Ramtha walked through the yard for her, too.
No way. Yes, cool.
She dropped the
Oh,
dishes. Yeah. So, and I've had other people who I've given the book to where this Ramtha shows up in different ways, but shows up. One at the foot of the bed one time for one person. So when they read that book, you can expect a visitation, and yours, no different. This great star falling from the sky,
yeah.
all confirmation.
Yeah. That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's really cool. I love those types of experiences because those are just undeniable. And, you know, I would say that once you, so I'm going to return. Making sense. But an earlier point we were talking about this. You were talking about the emotion and using it for, how to utilize emotion and manifestation. And
Hmm.
the inner child, you're talking about the little girl for me, but your little boy, little girl, yourself as this younger self comes forward and touches your heart, and that connection. When you were talking about that, that to me is what I do. And I've just been guided to do it since I was really little, honestly. Um, like I had my first near-death experience when I was 4. So that's what I mean by really little, somewhere around there.
Hmm.
Anyway, what it is that when we can allow ourselves to be in a place of play.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to that child self, everybody's child self has play.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people don't remember how, or they, at an early point in their life, where it was bred out of them somehow, or beat out of them, or whatever word you want to use. And it's just remembering how. What's play
That's right.
for you, right? And when you can play when doing any of the things that we talk about, then that's the juice that flows it. I mean, it's so amazing. It's like the gasoline of it.
It's only the child that can command the universe. So we often think that this bearded man up there in a stone chair is God, and
Right.
it's not. It's a little child curious about a butterfly.
Yeah.
Because right now, even though there's hardships, there's all this stuff going on, you're that little child playing with this reality. To come through it, to recognize that you've always been God,
Yeah.
that your imagination is the risen Christ, full stop. You are the Christ within because you have an imagination,
Yeah.
and that is creation. And all you have to do is match that imagination with your emotional vibration, and you shift timelines, you can shift dimensions, you can shift whatever you want.
Yeah.
Neville Goddard used to lay there in bed holding holding no, he would go into an imagination, and there would be pillars, and he would hold on to those pillars and will himself awake in that dimension.
Ooh.
And the first time that he did that, he freaked out because he didn't know how he's going to get back, because he had a wife and children and everything else. How am I going to get back? So then he remembered. He imagined he held his pillow in bed and willed himself awake, and he was back in the bedroom. You can shift like that.
Oh yeah.
I was
I
driving down the road. I was driving down the road, and a car came straight for me, and it never hit me when it should have. And I looked up in the mirror, and when I did, I heard a voice say, "Float your emotion and look straight ahead." And so I looked straight ahead, but then I looked up in the rearview mirror, and there was my car and that car tumbling in the ditch. And the voice came back and said, "I said, look straight ahead." I drove right out of one reality and into another.
I've had very similar experiences. I know exactly what I can validate your experience. I don't, not that you require it or anything like that, but yes. And these whatever we are, dimensionality, and it's not even that exactly. There's that too, but what the one that Spirit's been talking about, this was funny, is the so like like the multiverse.
Yeah.
There's many versions of us all playing out the same or similar storylines.
Mm-hmm.
And what they told me, they said, look how many you have. That's sloppy. Like, it's time to merge them up, girlfriend, and like that's what we've been doing. And once we and as I've been doing it, I've remembered so many different times in my life doing exactly what you're talking about. Like, I mean, I have countless numbers of, I don't know how I lived through that. And other times where it's like, it clearly something occurred. Like my
Yeah.
car was actually picked up and moved, is what it
Mm-hmm.
seemed like, and like I fell asleep at the wheel on a freeway, on like an 18 lane freeway. And I woke up a mile down the road. But when we were at a bend. I remember falling asleep. Like, I mean, that only happened that one time, by the way. But like, I mean, the fact that, I mean, and I was a different person. I
Mm-hmm.
had, my body felt balanced. I was wide awake. I mean, like there was, and different things as well. But each time, what we're doing is, it's just as we have a profound change in mind and body when we merge with our higher self each time, so too do we when we recollect all of our fractals that are our soul essence, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like putting the puzzle back together again.
Mm-hmm.
Until what? Until we're in the most aligned timeline,
That's
or
right. Until we no longer can deny we're God. Full stop. That's the end of the road. Now, it doesn't mean that's the end of the road. That's the beginning,
yeah, yeah,
because then creation expands even more. I mean, you're going to want to play in this dimension for a little while after being freed like that.
oh
You're
yeah,
going to you're going to want to manifest a few things, maybe $80 million and whatever, and feel the joy of that, and realize that you're not trapped at all ever.
yeah,
And then you're going to look at, well, maybe there's something else I can do. Maybe something else I want to try. You know, maybe I want my own universe.
yeah,
You wonder what all those stars are out there?
right.
Yeah.
Each one's a galaxy, right? Or not a galaxy?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I always mix
Each
those.
and each one someone's out there got their own idea about a galaxy.
Right.
It
You
goes
find
on and
this.
on.
Sorry, it goes
Yeah.
on and on.
It goes on and on. Yeah.
Yeah, forever.
But we're right here right now, and the thing that we need, get away from our news feed that's taking us from one state to another state to another state with every flick, because it's ADHD on steroids,
Right.
and you're emotionally going up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down.
Oh, we lost him again. He'll be back. Yeah, and I totally agree with what he's saying here. Like, whoops, I lost the chat. Okay, it's not me. There we go. Here he comes. He's coming back.
So you're emotionally going up and down, up and down, up and down. Now, with what we just got done talking about today, you need to get a really good feeling and keep it steadfast, right? So if you're going, oh my God, the government's doing this today. Oh no, and they're going to do that. Oh, there's a fuzzy kitty. Oh, and and you're emotionally all over the board. What's happening to your reality? And then you wonder why it's chaotic coming back at you,
Right.
right? So find a stable place inside of you. I am free, and feel that freedom and stay with that. Or I am abundance, or you know, I am the everlasting light of source energy.
Yeah.
And stay with that feeling, and you're going to notice that your reality out there morphs and changes to fit that.
Right.
Then you'll go, holy crap, this whole time I've been emotionally this way, and my life's been emotionally this way. It's not a coinkydink.
Yeah. Yeah. You said something that reminded me this, or I was only a couple. I was probably 6 or 7 years old, and I asked, "What is the foundation of the universe?" I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to know, and you know what they said? They said there's only two experiences: love and fear.
That's right. That's the first thing that I was met with coming into this world.
Hmm.
Two paths. And it's the same thing, but it's either be who you are or defend yourself.
Which is, yeah, the same,
The
right?
same
Yeah,
thing, right? Love and
right,
fear. Be or defend who you are,
right.
right? Isn't that weird?
Yeah, and check this out. This is it's kind of because you've seen the multi-plane dimensional drawings
Yeah.
and graphs and stuff. Is uh there's a lot of places in between love and fear, but everything is based in one or the other. And
Mm-hmm.
then you have the spectrum in between. And all this stuff over here around the fear, the closest things we have is shame and guilt and low self-worth kind of stuff, right? All that indoctrinated stuff that we're learning
Yeah.
through, right?
Yeah. That's
As
true.
soon as
Yeah.
those barriers that are keeping you to come back to the fear, you slowly you're drawn more back to this natural consciousness place, which is love. And
Yeah.
love is the natural state of a child, just as you were saying.
Exactly.
And the universe feels like love, like that ball of light that
Yeah.
Vanessa was talking about,
Yes.
and a lot of people right now, Dwayne, there's a lot of people who are calling me and messaging me and kind of freaking out because for the first time in their life ever, they're having contact. It's
Mm-hmm.
balls of light. It's silhouettes. Sometimes it looks like a shadow for people. That doesn't mean their shadow bad. How can you tell? I find send love to it. Send love
Mm-hmm.
to it. If it's of love, it will answer back with love, and if it is not, it will flee. The for love and fear cannot exist on the same
Nope.
plateau.
Yep. Or in the same body.
Hmm. That's why there is one choice or another, right? When you're having the internal battle, it's because you're shifting, and there's always this tug of war that happens as you shift, especially from a base route that you've stayed in for a decade or so, or however long, right?
So this is what I have come figured out. Left, right brain. Left brain is very, very programmable. Okay.
Mhm.
The left brain. But it's all full of all these limitations and all these things and fear and blah 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 blah. But if you take a little journey from the left over to the right, there's silence.
Yeah.
Live from there.
And you
Start.
can visualize it like you're moving it, but it seems like it's this kind of energy, so you go
Yeah.
up and around and then back down.
It's source and pure source energy. That's why they want you to avoid it. That's how come all the programs,
Mhm.
the lowest programs are the arts. They want you to stay the hell out of there. Right? They
Right.
got to give it to you, but they want you to stay out of there. Dominance is this analytical logical pathway, and that analytical logical pathway is very, very hypnotizable. And they're hypnotizing people all the time
Yeah.
over here with what's called logic. There's no such thing. Go to the illogic. Go take a journey over to the right, over to the right mind for a change.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to have experiences because that's why you're here, right?
Yeah.
Have you ever noticed that, there's a technique and then people will get all left brainy about it and they make it more complex and more complex and more complex and more complex because their ego wants to be important or seen or whatever. But
And
then they get this thing that's so complex it's useless, right? But the real good ones out there, they just go right brain and it's whatever is needed in the moment.
yeah.
It doesn't really even have a name to it.
And when you allow it,
Yeah.
then and just you know we are undoing indoctrination. We understand that, and so
Mm.
situations where you feel like it's difficult. This is actually the message I've been consistently getting from Archangel Michael specifically for a while. Um, is um, it's a commanding voice he uses, but this is a suggestion. Okay, um, for everyone, at least 5 minutes a day, suspend your disbelief and let everything be true. It sounds very silly because so many people believe that they, aren't, limiting themselves. But a lot of what we are being told by ourselves is someone else's words anyway, and
Mm.
so take a moment and allow yourself to pretend, like you were saying earlier in this conversation. Sometimes it feels like you're lying, and
Yeah.
that's okay. But just pretend that everything is awesome. Pretend that all of these things that are causing you discord or difficulty in your life don't exist or resolve themselves overnight. Just
Mhm.
allow yourself to pretend that all the things that are magical that we've talked about today that you may not think is true, or there's a part of you that's like, well, maybe just take 5 minutes and accept that all of these awesome things that not only we've talked about, but everyone else, 5 minutes a day, accept that they're true. And after a while, the stuff that really isn't true falls away, like a
Mhm.
like a peeling of a banana and the skin that comes off, you know, and uh, just allowing that to become something that, because a lot of times we don't realize that the muscles that we need to slowly grow and get stronger are also true in spirit. Spiritual muscles take some time. And just like
Mhm.
Deb was talking about, it takes time to remember how to play. But once you remember, it doesn't need to be the kind of play that we have assigned play for the youngest children if we didn't have the chance to do it, but find your version of play. Sometimes it's really getting down in the sandboxes. I find that's fun. Like that's a
Mhm.
fun time, you know. Sometimes it's blowing bubbles, and sometimes it's creating something else.
Sometimes it's just getting up and doing a happy dance because uh, a manifestation came through, or not, or if you want it to come through, do the happy dance that you already received it, and what that's the type of energy that creates the creation you want.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And um, that's actually the main thing that we do in this house, and that was actually kind of, I'm so happy you brought that up because I meant to say something about that. A lot of people are noticing this um, kind of quaking, vibrating in the body stuff. And
Mhm.
the solution to that is just what you talked about. Like we'll just get up and like do some kind of weird wiggle,
Yeah.
but yeah, like literally. And lots of times there's some kind of noise that's coming out of our mouths when we're doing it too, to make this silly
Yeah.
element up a little bit more, right? And um, it's important to dance. In my world, it's very important to dance. And I would say, if I had to consider, if I had to be very honest, I wouldn't consider myself even remotely good at dancing. Though, does it stop me? No. Do I still receive the amazing benefit of dancing? Yes, I do. It's a good way to shake out all of this excess energy that needs to go right now, and it's a way to be in the playful state. Like I'll start my session, before I do a session, I do a quick dance, and that's how I interact with spirit the most profoundly. So there's my 12 cents.
Well, I'm going to have to go, dear.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much. We've been on for an hour and 11 minutes.
Yeah. Thank
Or-
you. Thank you for having me on.
yeah, of course. I look
Yeah.
forward to having chats with you. May I add something before you go? Um,
Sure.
so just once again, you provide sessions in the area that if you want to come and do the, what's it called? That's what I wanted to remember. When you
Oh,
go to the wave thing that you do at your house.
at the EE room at Gridiron Fitness in Dawson Creek.
Right.
Yeah. Yep.
And then you also do over like Zoom situation kind of
Right.
sessions as well.
Yeah. Zoom I've been working for a long time with people all over the world. So, I mean, it's not like I just stick to uh, one town or something. I work everywhere
Right.
over Zoom. Yep.
Awesome.
And I do sessions. They want hypnotherapy training. I do training as well, and it's unique. The hypnotherapy training, I'll tell you that, because it's a different style. Yeah.
Awesome. And you also offer like consult a free just meet and
Yes.
greet, kind of see if what would
Just
work
come,
with them. And
just come to my website. It's Dwaine, spelt Dwaine, Hartman, HARTMAN .com. DwaineHartman.com. And you'll see on my front page, even it says book a free chat with me and talk to me and find out what you want to work on. And
right. And then, and that link is also in the description of this video. And I'm just going to put this up really fast so everybody can see it before we get going. Thank you so much for being on the show. I think I spelled it right. Did I? Yes, I did.
Yeah.
And I look forward to seeing you again in the future. Oh,
me too.
I have an announcement to make for me, but you can leave if you need to. I just need to say that I'm going to do a meditation later on today. Starting the meeting will start at 9 p.m. Central Time, and the meditation will start an hour into that time. So you'll see the link for that, and the community section of the YouTube channel, as well as on our Telegram group if you want to join. So I look forward to, we're doing something with manifestation, as all I know. So I find that really cool that we're talking about this so much today. Thank you so much for sticking around. Sending you love. Thank you all for being here, and I'll see you soon.
Bye.